some people are not are unaware of, like, systematic racism and systematic oppression. That makes you think of redlining, right?
Hmm.
My father, who served in the Air Force, right, and many of my uncles served served this country as well. But often, sometimes in the past, when people had their GI Bill, right, they served the country, fought for the freedoms, did everything they needed to do. Some had to kill, some were killed, right?
Hmm.
But they come back here after serving their nation, and they couldn't even buy a house with their GI Bill because the banks would deny them because they were black, even though their GI Bill was no different than their white counterparts. But that redlining happened. So those kind of examples of in our country, and they happen in many of different layers, not just the banking system. You can find these kind of things throughout our system. And it's so funny that we're talking about this because I had the pleasure of going to Esri, which is in Redlands. And Esri is one of the leaders in the world for geographical information systems. And one of the young men that was sharing with us used to do a lot of work that's now declassified. And some of the systems that they can use can kind of point out some of the systematic oppression, right? He didn't say it that way, but when I asked the question, I said, this tool and the way you guys are mapping things and are able to answer the questions of the system, I said it would be a great example to flesh these things out to help people get a better understanding when we say systematic oppression or systematic racism, for them to understand, because some people, you say that and they have no clue, right?
Hmm.
To me, the example right now is like woke, right? When that woke,
Yeah.
they certain
What does that mean?
certain groups of people use that as a bad term, to be conscious, to be aware, right? But for us, when we grew up, like, oh, they woke, they are aware, they know what's up,
Yeah.
they know what's going on. It's
They ain't
like
sleep. They ain't
they ain't
sleep.
sleep, like,
Yeah.
they're aware of what's happening. Now they're trying to, certain sides are trying to, demonize that terminology. And
Yeah.
if you're woke, you're not welcome here, and this and that, right? So
Gotcha.
you
So at
just
the GIS center, you got to actually visually see the
yes,
oppression.
they create tools that do pretty much every single one of your cities, counties, governments utilizes their technology. They're the world leader. They make tools to like, say if you want to find the trajectory of a riverbed, or you need to know the mappings of the power grid, or the sewage lines, and they have all their system knows all this stuff, right? All these things have been mapped out and everything like that. But for example, like, you could look at a community, right? Say we were looking at San Bernardino County,
Hmm.
and they were looking at, is a study that says that the poorest person in San Bernardino County is a African American mother, a single mother, African American woman. That's a single mother, is the poorest person in our community, right?
To date?
To date,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Yeah, right. So you can look at San Bernardino, say it's the city of San Bernardino, and you can see how many grocery stores are here, right? And then, in certain parts of San Bernardino, there's a lot of food deserts where there's nothing but liquor store and fast food, right? So you could put into the system, show me the all the stores in the area. Then you see there's no stores in that area. So most of the people there are living off of fast food and things they buy from the liquor store. Then you could directly correlate that to the health outcomes. Show me the health outcomes for this specific area. And you're seeing that, oh, these people that grow up in these conditions are living 7 or 10 years less than their white counterparts that live in an area where they do have access to a grocery store that has fresh produce, where they
Like a
do
neighboring
have,
city.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can utilize that tool to paint the you can utilize the tool to paint whatever picture you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And because they were talking about the ethical aspects of this technology and
Yeah, you
stuff.
have the data right there.
Yeah, and data can be manipulated. People say numbers don't lie, but yeah, numbers can
Be
be
manipulated.
manipulated to reflect whatever story you're trying to tell,
Yeah.
right? So, but yeah, so it's very interesting. Esri is like I said, a world leader, and it's right here in the Inland Empire in Redlands. There's so many great things here. But yeah, so it's just, so all the way back to your original question. I think it is somewhat targeting. I think that certain people that are aware of the injustices that happen in our nation
Yeah.
are trying to address these things and try to bring remedies to try to get equity and a level playing field for all people, minorities, people of color, people, immigrant, for everyone that's here in this country. And then you have some that are fighting that like it being tilted in their favor, you know. So
Facts.